Good morning, Ultimate Coach Facebook family. Good morning, good morning. It is a beautiful, gorgeous Monday morning here in Park City, Utah. I should give you a little view here. Oh, look at that. Amazing. Truly blessed to be here. Luisa and I will be here for the summer. And really feeling blessed to be up here. Arizona was amazing, but starts to get a little bit hot and spicy there. I think the high today will be 69, so it's pretty nice. So I wanted to share some personal things this morning. And the idea to share what I'm bringing to the conversation today really came from a number of conversations that I've had with folks in the last week, a couple over the weekend. Once in a while I get a little nudge I should reach out to somebody, and I do so and check in on them and see how they're doing. And hey, good morning, Mr. Orton. Good morning, Sarah. Excited for Friday, Dave. How about you, huh? Should be fun. Anyway, I get a nudge and I'll reach out to people and check in on them and see how they're doing. And oh, wow, that's cool. And what I can say anecdotally is that the past month really has seemed to be a challenging one for a lot of folks, just emotionally, mentally. I was talking to Luisa about this, and she said something like, "Hey, Gabby, it's beautiful up here. I didn't know you were living up here." Anyway, she said something like, "Oh yeah, well, Mercury was in retrograde. We just got out of it." And I don't typically buy off on that stuff. I mean, I'm sure there's something to it, but I try not to. I have enough variables in my life. I don't need planetary alignment to also be concerned with. But the point being, there was an explanation for it, and it's been anecdotally widely reported, at least to me, that folks are really having some challenges. A lot of thoughts in their head this last month. The point of this is that in each of those occasions, when I was talking to folks, well, I let them know that the same was true for me. And what I mean is the last month, May, has been, if I was kind of filling out comment cards every day, incredibly challenging. There have been a much larger than normal percentage of what I call thoughts from unuseful listening. I got that from Steve, but that's what I call it now. And that is the thoughts I'm producing about my situation. And there have been a lot of them. And I would rank myself as, well, pretty far up on the scale of conscious creation. I do a lot of work to consciously create myself in my declaration. I do a lot of work to dissolve thinking from unuseful listening by looking at the judgments of myself that are creating them. So I do a lot of this work, and if I was, keeping track all month, the column of thoughts under the word worthless would have had lots of check marks. The column under the word undeserving would have had lots of check marks. The column under the word gonna screw it all up would have had lots of check marks. Seriously. And I share that because I think a lot of times, well, certainly anecdotally from the conversations I've been having last week, people expressed some surprise and even relief when I was sharing, yeah, me too, right? They were sort of like, what? You too? I thought you would evolve past this. Like, no, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. It's not like any of this work, any of this being work is going to, I don't know, entitle us to graduate. It's been a month, right? Hell of a month. What's up, Mr. Morgan? Good to see you. We don't get to earn out of this human experience, right? yeah, Gabby, we got to feel it. It's gonna show up, and we need to experience it. We don't need to, but in my in my experience, that's what happens. Ramesh Balsekar, who I love, and I read a lot of his books, has a wonderful concept. Yes, they are, Brian, always getting better. He has a concept. He distinguishes vertical time and horizontal time. And the idea is very simple, that time moves in this horizontal plane, right? Time keeps ticking, ticking. And in any moment, vertical time, we are destined to experience life, all emotions, sadness, joy, happiness, anxiety. We're going to experience them. That's part of being human. All except, and this is according to Ramesh, all except for truly enlightened sages experience everything. And he would even say that even enlightened sages experience emotion, but only in the vertical plane. What I mean is, if a sage or enlightened one were to hit their hand with the hammer, they would, have a momentary sensation of pain, like everybody else. They're still human. They would have whatever frustration or anger would be produced in that moment, and then it would be over. They might be laughing the very next moment. So I love this idea of distinguishing the level or the degree to which our being is creating an emotional experience horizontally when it need only be experienced vertically, right? So there is no escaping from the human experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Hey, good morning, Anita. Loving you. So this idea that we're going to transcend any of this, or that any conditions or circumstances. Look, I'm in an incredibly beautiful place right now, right? I am so fortunate to be here with my wife for the summer. We're on a resort property. We've been here a little less than a week. And all sorts of thoughts in the past week of, well, this doesn't work, or this is annoying, or I hate this, or man, what if my business comes crashing down, right? It never goes away. Another distinction, I think this is Ramesh, he talks about the distinction between duality and dualism. And at least the way he explains it, if I got my story straight, is duality is the fundamental nature of life. Everything has an opposite. Light has dark. Happiness must have sadness. Laughter must have fear, right? Wealth must have poverty. Pleasure must have pain. So duality is the natural, hey, good morning, Andreas, state of things. You cannot escape duality. It's how it is. If you find one thing in the world, you'll find the opposite of it. As above, so below. Dualism is the idea that we can pursue one at the exclusion of the other. So, like, I want to always be happy. Well, it's nonsense. Truly nonsense. The idea that you'll always be happy, never have sadness, well, good luck. I think that causes more pain and anxiety and suffering than anything else. This idea that we're supposed to get to this place. Hey, Dave, I guess you came back because it said you're watching. That we're supposed to get to this place or this state where we're free of it. Like, oh, look at Steve Hardison, he's always happy. I guarantee that's not the case. Nobody is. If they say they are, they're not being all that honest, right? If they're not feeling sadness, depression, anxiety, doubt, frustration. Hey, Trevor, good morning. So I think that's really important, first and foremost, to acknowledge that myself, I can speak for myself, and in my experience, hey, Ben, good morning, brother. Everybody on this planet is going to live life within a range of highs and lows. And sometimes it feels like there are more lows. So, what do we do about this? What's the prescription? Well, there is no prescription. There is no doing. Yeah. Ben, great quote. I think it was Werner who said, the pursuit of happiness is the most certain way of never getting to it, or something like that. Where was I? Oh yeah, what do you do about it? We don't do anything, but for me, what I believe you can be is accepting, right? Be accepting. I love that quote, Gabby. Thank you for sharing that. Michael Neal says, I seek to be grateful for my highs and graceful with my lows. I love that quote as well. I strive to be accepting, acceptance. For me, acceptance is the path to peace. Now, when I say peace, I don't mean, there you go, great quote as well, Sam. That Werner guy, he's got some smart stuff. Peace is not joy, happiness, jumping around, having fun, necessarily. Peace is acceptance of all that is as is. So peace is possible in any circumstance. Peace can be possible in the middle of a violent thunderstorm. Hey, good morning, Mike and Sam. Peace can be possible, living on the street. Peace can be possible, in a cacophonous rock concert or a riot, right? Peace is the state of being about what is, and the degree to which we are in acceptance of what is, well, we don't struggle against it, all right? You can be at peace and feel deep sorrow. I personally have had incredibly sad, sorrowful moments in my life where at the same time there was this beingness of I'm okay here, being sad, being maybe I'll never get out of this, in acceptance of it, and that brought a different qualitative feel to it. Anyway, rambling a little bit this morning, but great. That's a great dream, Brian, about the tracksuit. You got to get you one. We got to get you one. We'll hook it up. So, what I have strived to do in the last month, as some would say Mercury in retrograde has caused a lot of ruckus. I don't know about that. I do know last month has been a particularly interesting one, challenging one. What I've strived to do is be in acceptance of what is. Whatever's going on, whatever shitty mood I'm in, whatever self-doubt, whatever fear, thoughts, whatever catastrophizing I'm doing, be in acceptance that it's okay, right? I know I'm okay here, even if I've got thoughts I'm not okay. Oh, that's a great one. I accept what is with love. That's beautiful, Mike. And in the notion of acceptance, I do think it's important. Yeah, surrender is key, right? Surrender, allowing whatever will be. And sometimes that's easier said than done. I get that, right? Because we want to get there. We want to speak our declaration and feel better and have the thing worked out. Sometimes, but not always. So mostly this was just, a little bit of a morning ramble to let you know that, hello, Amy Rose, wait. That, we're all going through the same stuff. All of it. All of us. Everybody. Nobody's out there figured a way out of this little rat trap. Nobody. Don't let them fool you. And to the extent possible, you can ask who would I need to be to move through this, whatever this is, as smoothly as possible. Thank you, Ben. Who would I need to be to accept what is as is and trust it'll all work out, right? A lot of times when I'm sitting across from somebody who's having a really rough time, I'll ask a simple question and I'll say, I'll ask, do you know everything's going to be okay? Right? Do you know everything's going to work out okay? And usually their answer is, I don't know. And my response is, I do. I know everything. I promise you everything's going to be okay. Do you want to know how I know? And they'll say, yeah, well, how do you know? I said, well, because we're here. There's a great scene in The Matrix, one of my favorites. I think it's 2 or 3, I can't remember, but it's they go to meet the Merovingian, and there's a big firefight, gunfight, all sorts of things, and anyway, they're coming up in the elevator, getting out of the place, and I think it's Neo says, well, that didn't go so well, and Morpheus says, everything went exactly as it was supposed to. He might have said it a little differently, but that was the idea. And Neo says, How did you come up with that one? He goes, because we are still alive. So that's pretty cool. Go watch The Matrix when in doubt. All right, y'all have an amazing week. I think I will do the same. And much love to each and every one of you. If there's anything that has sparked in this conversation, you got a question about, or not sure about, or you want to ask me a question, shoot me a message in the the little messenger thing. I always respond to stuff like that. So, yeah, Gabby, right? Everything's gonna be okay. All right, love you guys. Have an amazing week.